Have you ever just watched a musician create a solo out of thin air and thought, how in the world are they doing that? I mean, it really does feel like magic. But today, we're going to pull back that curtain. We're going to show you the hidden system, the secret engine that's driving it all. All right, let's get into it.
So get this, what if the fundamental rule behind a mind-blowing jazz solo or an incredible freestyle rap isn't actually about music at all? What if it's theatrical? The entire system, believe it or not, is built on one single, powerful idea that comes straight from the world of improv comedy.
And that rule is yes and. It sounds so simple, right? But it's this incredible two-part command that creates a powerful feedback loop. The yes part means you accept whatever your partner just did, the note they played, the rhythm they started. You're listening, and you're agreeing to the reality they've just created. And then comes the and. That's where you build on it. You add something new, your own idea, which your partner then has to say yes to. It's this constant creative cycle of acceptance and addition.
So, how does this one little rule generate all the amazing complexity we hear in improvised music? Let's break down how this engine really works.
You know, to really get why yes and is so important, you first have to understand its opposite, blocking. In comedy, it's like someone on stage says, "Look out, a lion!" And you reply, "That's not a lion, it's a kitten." The whole scene just dies, right? Well, musically, it's the exact same thing. If your band is jamming away in C major and you just start blasting a solo in C sharp major, you're not adding to the idea, you're denying it. You've blocked the flow and the entire creative system just crashes.
Okay, so if yes and is the engine, how do you steer the car? That's where the 4 creative pillars come into play. Just think of these as the 4 mindsets an improviser uses to navigate a performance and, make really interesting choices.
First up, we have unity. This is all about cohesion. It's basically the yes part of our big rule. So when a musician plays a cool little melody, and then they repeat it, they build on it, they develop it, that's unity at work. It's the thing that makes a solo sound like a complete, satisfying statement, instead of just a bunch of random notes thrown together.
Next up, there's balance. And this pillar is all about the group dynamic. In improv comedy, there's a big rule: make your partner look good. In music, that means you have to listen. It's the drummer playing just a little quieter when the guitarist steps up for a solo, or it's the pianist playing simpler chords to really support a singer. It's all about creating that sonic space so your partner's ideas can truly shine.
Our third pillar is symmetry. Now, this is the hidden architecture of the music. It's the power of patterns and predictable forms. Take a 12-bar blues, for example. That structure isn't a cage that traps you. No. It's the scaffolding that gives you the freedom to build something amazing on top of it. It's the order that makes all the chaos feel totally intentional and satisfying. And finally, my favorite, paradox. This is the spark of pure creation. Paradox is that intentional risk, the unexpected choice, the note that sounds almost wrong. But here's the key. It's not a mistake. It's a deliberate injection of tension that breaks a pattern, keeps things from getting boring, and forces the music to evolve into something brand new and exciting.
So when you look at them all together like this, you can really see how they work as a complete system. You've got unity and symmetry providing the structure, the rules of the game, and then balance and paradox bring in the dynamic conversation and those creative sparks. A master improviser isn't just good at one of these. They are constantly, and I mean constantly, juggling all 4 at once.
Okay, this all makes sense for a group, right? You say yes and to your bandmates, but what about a solo performer? I mean, who is their partner? How can they possibly make their partner look good when they're the only one on stage?
And here is the absolutely brilliant solution. For an ensemble, the partner is external. It's the other musicians you can see and hear. That feedback loop happens right out in the open. But for the soloist, the partner is internal. Their partner is their own last idea. They're having a super high-speed conversation with themselves.
And this is exactly how that internal loop builds. A soloist plays an initial phrase. That's paradox, a pure creative spark. Then they have to instantly accept it. That's unity. They might repeat it or develop it, creating a pattern. That's symmetry. Then they support it with the notes that come next, making that first idea sound brilliant. That's balance. And just when it's getting a little predictable, bam, they break it with a new spark of paradox, starting the whole cycle all over again. All this happens in a fraction of a second. It's incredible.
So what is the ultimate goal of mastering this entire system? Well, it's to achieve that almost mythical flow state, where the music just seems to play itself. And what's wild is that neuroscience can now show us exactly what's happening inside the brain when a performer gets there.
The most important point is this paradox right here. To achieve ultimate creative control, you actually have to give it up. Now, that might sound a little mystical, but it's a real, measurable thing that happens in your brain.
So, in simple terms, what does giving up control actually mean? It means turning off that part of your brain that second-guesses everything, the part that plans and worries. It's about silencing that inner critic that stops you from taking risks in the first place.
The science here is just fascinating. Through thousands of hours of practice, experts basically automate the rules of music. You know, the scales, the chords, the theory. This automation is what allows them to let go. And when they do, it literally deactivates the part of the brain that's responsible for conscious planning and self-criticism. With that inner critic offline, the brain's more spontaneous, creative networks are totally free to fire away. This is what leads to that effortless state of flow we see not just in musicians, but in athletes who are in the zone or writers who completely lose track of time.
So what does all of this add up to? Well, this system is so much more than just a way to play music. It actually reveals a pretty profound, universal truth about creativity itself.
The singular truth of this whole system is this idea of recursive acceptance in emergent growth. It's just a fancy way of saying yes and, but scaled up into a whole philosophy for life. You have to constantly accept what is in order to create what could be. Real growth only ever emerges from acceptance.
And this idea, this ethic, it scales up to every level. On a personal level, it's about accepting your own mistakes, not as failures, but as new creative offers. On the group level, it's the foundation of all effective teamwork. And looking to the future, it even gives us a model for how humans could partner with AI. The human provides that yes and creative spark, and the AI helps manage the complexity. Which really leaves us with one final thought. If this system can turn a wrong note into the most beautiful part of a song, what does that mean for us? If every so-called mistake in our own lives is actually just a new offer, a brand new starting point, what incredible things could we create simply by learning to say yes and?